My favorite question is when they'd come in and be like, "What is the best camera to use out of all of them?" And you're just like,
I don't know. What's the best car to drive?
"Yeah,
that-
exactly,
What's the best house to live in?
exactly." Like,
Yeah.
all right. Okay, we're good now. We're all good, everybody.
Yeah.
We're on air. All right, welcome back to the fourth installment of the Real Life Podcast. Today we have on my best friend of 6 years and my multimedia companion, photo and videography.
It has been 6 years.
6 years, yep.
Oh.
If you watch the vlog channel or you know us personally, you know him, but this is Antonio. It has been 6 years since we met in a digital media class.
Yeah, I never really thought that. Like, when you think about it like then, like, I never thought I'd be getting into digital media of any sort. Like, I never
no.
thought I'd be interested in photography or any of that. Like, I thought of it as, like, a cool little hobby. But I didn't think there was, like, so many dimensions, like, of the artwork.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a very surface level art. Like, you have to really dig in deep.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get into that in a second, but first, to start off the podcast, I do every single time I do 3 questions.
Okay.
So you're gonna give me 3 numbers from 1 through 100, and you're gonna answer whatever questions you land on.
Okay.
3 numbers.
Oh, okay. I don't know, 31, 74, 89.
Okay, number 31. What are you grateful for?
What am I grateful for? The people in my life. Like, because honestly, like, you could have like a great job. Like, what makes a great job a great job? Like, do you ever have a great job where you don't like the people you're working with? Like, I don't think that ever exists.
Yeah.
And like the same goes for like your family. Like, if your family like have a lot of money or they have like a high status, like you don't think you have a great family unless like they're
You're
actually
close.
a great family, unless
Yeah.
you're close with them and that you love them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm
That
like
makes
grateful
sense.
for the people in my life.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think I spent a lot of time like I spent a lot of time trying to sort out the people in my life. Like, there were some tough decisions I had to make where I had to be like, I can't really like let this person in my life again, or I can't keep going with this person in my life. Like, this person is making me a worse person. Like,
Yeah.
it's a really tough decision.
You want to
Especially,
call out
like,
any names? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Derek, you little fuck. No, I'm just kidding. Can I cuss on here?
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay. No, but seriously,
Dude,
like,
someone named Derek is gonna be watching that, and they're gonna be like,
what
Bro.
the hell, man? I don't know what Derek, but if I do, I'm sorry, Derek. I love you. Unless you suck, so fuck you. So
gonna be like one of the workers at, at your
at
job.
my job.
He works like front end. You don't even know him. What was the second number you chose? 70 something, right?
I don't know, 89.
89. What's your unanswerable question? Like the question you always seem to be like asking yourself, or that you just don't you can't find the answer to.
Wow, that's a good question. Well, I'll give you like. I mean, one of the questions I like ask myself a lot is like, is like, at what point will I like accept like a certain thing? For example, like I just spent a few months on keto, and I've come off of it, and I've lost 55 pounds,
Yeah.
and I'm like, at what point am I going to be satisfied with how I look? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not like, to anyone like trying to lose weight, like I am not satisfied in how I look. So like if you're looking for like satisfaction, like you should be looking for like your health and like the health of others. You know,
Yeah.
like I feel like if you're doing it for yourself, it's selfish, and if you're doing it for others, like it's actually going to make you feel fulfilled.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
What's their number?
65.
What's something you love to make?
Oh man. Something I love to make. I really love making art. Like that gives me a lot of fulfillment. And I love making like food. Like cooking.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like you'd get the same, like you get fulfillment from your art, right?
Oh yeah.
Like you feel like you've made something that
Especially after like when we do weddings and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, there's there's times where you go to like look at what you took and you were like, I'm not proud of myself.
Yeah, but I still get like so many positive reactions.
Yeah.
I don't even like show my art to that many people,
Yeah.
but like when I do, it's always positive.
Dude, do you ever have that problem where you like you do a video or a photo or whatever and you like look at it in camera and it looks like good, you're like, "Whoa, that looks so good," and you go put it like to post and you go edit and you
And
put it in the queue and you're like, that's not what it looked like.
That doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you go through like the whole shoot and you're like, I don't know what I'm gonna give them.
Yeah.
The best is when that happens and then they're like, you give them the photos and you're like, these are not good, and they're like, these are so good, these are
Yeah,
fire.
I love these photos. These are so good. You're so amazing. And I'm like, oh, okay. Ooh.
Exactly. So we didn't, like you were saying, like we didn't know like that we were going to be so deep into camera work. We originally started with we always knew we wanted to do our own thing. Like we didn't want to like work for a certain company or anything like that. Like we wanted to be our own bosses. And the first thing we were into was trading card games, and we made our own trading card game. Remember that?
Yeah, I do. I do remember that.
That was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it takes me back, man. Do you remember Johnny?
Yeah.
So there's this guy. So we made like a pact of people. Like we made like a clan of people, like a group,
Like a
like a
crew.
party of like a crew. Yes, of people that were gonna make the game with us. And it was me, you, and then it was a guy named Alexander, and then a guy named Johnny. Okay, so I wanted to make a trading card game because I was a junior in high school and I was bored, and that's what you do. Like you do something. Like I was like, I have to do something, and then any extracurricular activities. I go home and I play World of Warcraft, and like I have all these friends that I like don't hang out with. Like why am I not doing this? So I'm like, I should make a trading card game. Like, I really like trading card games. I've been playing a lot of them, so I make one. And we like put together this whole crew, and it was you and me, and it was Alec, otherwise Alexander, and Johnny. And I remember like, taking it so seriously.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember how seriously I took it? Like, I remember confronting him one day because he was like, no, I don't want to come over to your house and like work on the card game. I'd rather like, you know, do grown up stuff because I think he had like a job or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like a senior. He had like a job and shit and like a girlfriend.
Yeah.
And I didn't.
None of us did.
None of us did except him.
Yeah.
And so he was like, I don't want to work on your stupid fucking card game because I confronted him one morning at school. And then like Garrett walks in late and he's like, what's going on, man? How's it going? And Johnny's like, don't fucking talk to me. And he's like, oh shit. I always felt bad because I was like, I'm sorry, Garrett, that's my fault.
Dude. Yeah, that was so funny. I remember like each person had their own like niche, whatever, in the crew. Like I had you knew like everything that needs to go into the trading card game, like all the abilities, all the
Yeah, I
like
made a whole
titling.
lore behind it too. I made a
Yeah,
whole story,
the lore and stuff.
all the
I
characters.
was the creative,
Uh-huh.
like the drawings on there and stuff, like all the
Mhm.
pictures and like the designs of the cards. And then Alec was like, I don't even know what he was there for.
Yeah, I tried to sparse up the work between them, but like they were like, we just want to have fun.
A lot of what they were
and
there
I was
for,
like, I want to make a card game.
a lot of what they were there for was testing.
Yeah, I had them test the cards out a lot. But a big thing is so funny is like,
But
this-
Alec got grounded all the time, and he
yeah,
would
we
never
were
show
literally
up.
just high schoolers. Like Johnny was a senior with a girlfriend that didn't have enough time, and Alec just got grounded all the time because, like, that's what you do when you're like, a junior in high school. Like, you
Yeah.
just get grounded and you like play video games and shit. That's even how it failed. Like, so I was like, okay, artwork is a huge thing in card games. In every card game, the artwork can make or break a card game. That's how you get, like, if you can make a card game that's like beautiful, you can reach an audience that isn't ordinarily like up to playing the card game, because it's like you have to learn all the mechanics and you got to do this and that.
Yeah.
And it's like once you learn it, it's like barely fun, not even. But like if you like what really gravitates you to pick up a card is like the artwork. And so I remember I spent like all my birthday and Christmas money paying people for artwork that I never finished, that never even got finished. Like,
Yeah.
it was really funny because like there were like no digital artists at our school, so like there was a bunch of people like that whole anime nerd group that like drew a bunch, and so I paid probably like I paid a lot of money. Like I probably paid them.
And like it was our birthday and Christmas money. Like it wasn't like we had a job where we could make it back next
yeah,
week.
no,
Like,
there was no way
it
I was
gone.
gonna make that back. Yeah, I was like,
until next year.
I remember I paid some guy like $70 for his journal, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna scan this and then I'll upload it onto Illustrator because Illustrator was free at school, and I was like, I'll spend my lunches like kind of filling it out,
Yeah.
and I uploaded it and the notebook is lined, so I was like, oh shit, and so I was like, there goes my $70. That was like all my birthday money.
Well, now thinking about it, what we could have done is just like taken like the pencil or marker tool or whatever and just traced it.
Yeah, I realized that we could have done so many things. It's just we were high schoolers.
Dude,
and I
if we had
didn't know
known
what to
what we know now about the editing software and like graphic design and just like people,
do. Yeah,
like we could have done a lot better.
yeah, yeah, and like that year, I actually went to PAX South, and I went to like PAX South. So that PAX is a gaming convention, and I saw like there was a whole tabletop area, and nothing but tabletop games. So you had indie tabletop, and then you had like the big boys like Pokemon trading card game, and then you had Magic Gathering, like the biggest one. You also had Yu-Gi-Oh players. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh. That's what me and my friends were really big into. Me
Yeah.
and you and everybody else
Yeah.
were really big into Yu-Gi-Oh. But yeah, so I was like, what happens if like I want rival? Like our game was called Rivalry. I was like, I want our game to be up there one day, and I was like, but like when you're in high school and you want to make it as good as like Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic, where they like sell the booster packs in like every Walmart across the country, like you have big expectations and you can't fulfill them if you're in high school. So it was just me. It was really like a big learning experience.
We also just didn't have any income to like put anything into it.
Yeah.
Like
I remember it was like around Christmas time, and I was eating lunch with my grandmother, and she was like, I'll be willing to invest in this. I can go into my savings and take out like, I don't know, she said something like $300, and I was like, $300? You know what I could do with that? We could sell out the entire, we could take this everywhere with $300. Yeah, no. But yeah, that was so much fun though.
do you think you'd like want to do that sometime in the future or near future or whatever, like continue with that project, or would you be willing to like sell it to someone or something?
I would be open to either.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. Like I remember you guys would come over to my house, and you guys would. I remember we were trying this one thing with like tokens, where like if you attack like an enemy, they lose a token, and then something. And so we were using like goldfish, and we like ate a whole gallon carton of goldfish,
Yeah.
and like we were like spilling it on the floor, and the dogs were eating it. It was so much fun, man. Like, just trying to come up with a good card game was like all the fun in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like once I came up with something that was like stable enough to where you could actually sit down and play it, I was like, this is boring now. And I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. The first thing was not our own created lore that you had made. The first thing we did it on was Marvel.
Oh my
Remember
gosh,
that?
I forgot about that. Yeah. We were gonna do like a Marvel versus DC,
Yeah.
and we were gonna cross integrate like Marvel and DC characters, and like then we like got further into our media class, and we like were like, oh, copyright exists.
Yeah.
So we're like, yeah, we can't do this. And then so we were like, I remember like for like I don't know how long, but like a long enough while to like remember, like it was a specific period. We spent a good amount of time trying to come up with a new idea for Rivalry.
Yeah.
And I kept like insisting on world history. Like you could have like, I don't know, like samurais from ancient, not ancient, but like samurais from like prehistoric Japan
Yeah.
to like
Genghis Khan soldiers.
to like Genghis Khan, and then to like freaking I don't know,
soldiers.
like Navy, like I don't know what they're called, but like people from like World War II, and like you could have like this like
Aviators.
like you could have this epic like world history battle, and it like teaches you something,
Yeah.
and everyone was like, that's so boring. And I was like, aw. Yeah, I'm a big history buff.
I still have everything on my Google Drive.
I do too. Yeah, I still have it. I got a ton of. Well, I was looking through my Google Drive, and I only have like 15 gigs, and I was like, what's taking up so much everything? Because it was getting full, and I was like, oh, it's Rivalry, and I was like, I don't want to delete these files, man. I got all these art,
Yeah.
these assets, and I have all this. I have like scripts and like practically like a whole novel about the lore of the card game, and I don't want to get rid of it. Like I'm too proud of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's an idea that I don't want to die.
Yeah.
And once I were to delete that, it would die.
I think what was so funny, or one of the things, like nowadays if we were doing it, like we could do it all night. Yeah, nowadays we could be here till like, we could like work till like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., whatever, and we could like go on this game. But like back then, like when we were teenagers, like Alec would be like, my mom just called me, I'm grounded, I gotta go home.
Yeah.
At like 8, and my parents would be like, it's 9 p.m., it's curfew, you gotta go home.
Yeah.
And your
If
parents would be like,
we had,
Antonio, it's
late
time to get
nights-
everybody out of the house.
Mhm. Yeah, my parents would kick y'all out.
It'd be like 10 p.m. and everybody was home.
Yeah. Oh man. I remember like get here after school, and like everyone would get here at like 5. And we spent all evening going over
Yeah.
testing out the game, having so much fun. And then we'd get bored of the game and play Yu-Gi-Oh! And then we'd go back to the game because like
Yeah.
we'd be like, oh, that was so cool. It was like, let's make Rivalry that. Let's do that. Let's make Rivalry cool, where we had this like it was super awesome play, and,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah, those were the good days. It's that's so crazy to think we're 6 years past that already. We're only
Yeah.
4 years short of a decade past
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I don't like thinking about that. It makes me depressed.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy. I don't know. Where do you see us like 4 years from now, like a decade after our friendship?
After our friendship,
Yeah.
so our friendship's gonna end.
No, I mean like a decade after we began our friendship, rather.
Oh. Well, I would hope that we would be like that. Our company would have our media company right now would have a little more traction. In that we would be like make a little bit, at least like part-time consistent money off of that, and we'd be working like part-time jobs. And
Yeah, I'd like to make full time after our work.
yeah,
I think our work
obviously
is
I would
that
like to make
valuable.
full-time at some point, but the first goal for me is to make part-time
Yeah, I get that.
so that I can like apply for part-time jobs
Mhm.
instead of like I have to have full-time where I can't take this job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah. I would also eventually like to have some like famous guests on this.
Yeah, famous people share some pretty cool stories, man.
Yeah.
They get around.
Yeah, they do. Definitely. Now we're on to, if you haven't noticed, our mugs, Real Life Media. Yeah.
Real life media.
It started out as Real Life Photography. You remember that? And
Hi,
it was,
Russ.
it was the circle logo.
Yeah, I remember
It
that.
was like super complex, like all this stuff in the logo.
Yeah.
It was like a shutter and a lens combined.
Yeah, I remember you had like a real life company gmail.com or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, we gotta fix this, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got that all figured out.
Yeah.
Or you got that all figured out. You fixed all that.
Yeah.
I was just like, all right.
Well, you had a little thing there where you went on your own tangent
Yeah,
and you did Antoniosity.
yeah.
You remember when you remember the day that you were trying to change your name from something to do your own company? Your name on Instagram was Ambassador or something like 005 or something.
Yeah, it was
Like-
some stupid gamer name.
And you were like, I gotta fix this. I'm gonna make. And we spent that night with your sister, with Vana, trying to come up with a name for you.
Yeah.
We had like Photonio and Phodio.
And Fodio, yeah. Really funny.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was trying to incorporate my name with everything, but I don't know. Yeah.
That was fun. So you're a twin, right?
I am
Vana's
a
your
twin.
twin. Who's
Yeah,
older? You, right?
I'm a minute older.
I'm a minute older. Do you get any twinception or anything?
All the time.
Really?
We are so similar except for our taste in music. No, our taste in music is basically the same. What's different about us?
Your hair colors.
So we're very similar in nature. Like,
Yeah.
and
You have
if
the
you
same
get us two in the same room, like we can just go on and on and on. You will never be bored with the two of us in the same room. Like, it's guaranteed. Like, there's no way. And we can pick up on each other's moods faster than anyone else. Like, I can look over at my sister and be like, "Oh, she's in a bad mood. I'm gonna go check up on her." But you can't, like, there's things that we like take for granted that we know about each other that just people just simply don't understand.
Yeah. Do you ever like if you're apart, like right now, do you ever get like if you were apart from her, like something right now, would you ever get like a feeling like, oh, Vana might be something, and then you'll text her and check up on her, or like I had a feeling or something.
No, and I think that's because we just haven't been apart and we finally are now and we're still getting used to it. But like even if I like call her on the phone, I know what her mood is. She
Yeah.
we basically can't hide anything from each other. And you might think like that sucks. No, it's like great because then we can like be like, "Hey, I'm here for you."
Yeah.
And like here like I know what you're going through because I'm going through like the same thing. And so it's actually a really great thing because it's like you have this person that's here for you and you have this person that like knows what you're going through, like no matter what.
Yeah.
Like they understand you unequivocally, you know.
Yeah.
I think older or younger siblings, you don't know quite what they're going through because either they haven't gone through it or you haven't gone through it, and it's like you just feel off.
Yeah.
But that's what I've seen with other siblings. But like with my twin, it's like that. Like we just get each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is your sister into tech like you at all, or photo, video, any of that stuff? I don't think she is. She doesn't.
She actually was in high school, and I've been trying to get her back on it. I've been trying really hard. She just doesn't think she's good like me, and I'm like, I feel the same way, dude. Like, I don't think I'm good, but I still try, you know?
Yeah.
She is the most amazing. She's like the best makeup artist you'll ever meet.
She is
And
good at makeup.
it's not like a brother thing. Like, it's a legitimate, like, I've seen her artwork and I'm like, wow, that's like some like serious potential. Like, that's some like hometown girl raised to be big city girl, like going to Tennessee, making like becoming a rock star type shit. Like, that's
Yeah.
that type of artwork. Like, she could be like her makeup could be in like anything she wants. Like, she could put that shit on Broadway. She
Why
could
haven't
be
I had her on a
biggest
vlog
Hollywood.
to do makeup?
She's so good at makeup. It's ridiculous. She's good at not only is she good at like regular makeup, so like makeup that you see at like weddings and shit. That kind of like extreme makeup, but
Yeah.
she's also so good at like special effects makeup.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember she was doing like cuts and stuff.
She's
on
doing
Halloween.
cuts and stuff, and I'm like, dude, go to the hospital. And I'm like, oh, that's not. You're not
Go to-
gonna die.
Dude, we should do a video on my vlog channel where she like puts like bruises and cuts on one of us, and we just go into public.
I really would want to do that because they're so
That would be
convincing.
hilarious. Like a social experiment thing.
I want to do one where I like put something like on my like mouth, and then like I have a mask over it, and I'm like, my mouth itches. Can you tell me like why it?
Oh,
then
dude,
just
that would
be
be
like-
so funny.
Yeah.
You know how much hate you would get for taking off your mask?
Yeah, I would hope I would just scare them enough to where they wouldn't realize that I took off my mask.
Dude, we could do one where she puts like some kind of something on your mouth and you have the mask on, and then you have like a blood pill, and we fake a fight, fake hit you, and you like bite the blood pill, and you
Oh
rip your
yeah,
mask
that'd
off.
be really good, man.
Dude, oh my gosh.
That'd be great. Yeah, I'm getting some good ideas. We gotta call her up.
Do we? Does she still live with you, or did she move out again?
She's with my grandmother. She's taking care of my grandma.
Oh,
So she was living with her boyfriend, and they moved back. I probably shouldn't be telling her personal business on the podcast, but oh well. Yeah, they were in Corpus, and they're back now because of the pandemic.
pandemic.
Yeah.
Dude, has wearing a mask became like?
Sorry.
I heard that in my ear. I was like, what was that? Has wearing a mask become like normal to you? Like, do you have that on your nightstand and you just?
Oh yeah,
When
it's
you get
like
ready?
you grab your phone, wallet, keys, and then I grab my mask. And then
It hasn't become muscle memory for me yet.
I think it's just the more you do it.
Yeah.
Because like I have a job, and I get it.
Yeah, I don't go to work right now.
Yeah.
So
I don't blame you, man. A lot of people have lost their jobs. It's stupid. Stupid. Yeah, no. It becomes muscle memory. It's hilarious because like at my job I stand at the front and I greet people.
Oh, you're not in the
And-
back anymore?
No.
That's pretty good. Is that an
Uh,
upgrade or a downgrade?
It's
Just
grass is always greener.
Hmm.
So I was like, I don't know. I could be at the front not doing anything, or I can be in the back doing a bunch of stuff and not want to do any of it. So it's like either be bored or be like annoyed that I
Yeah.
have so much to do. But anyway, I greet people and I'm like, "Hey, do you have a mask?" And they're like, "Oh shit." Like, "Oh God, I'm sorry. Let me get it from my car."
Have you had anyone
Um,
battle you on it yet?
Not yet. And I am so scared of that day. Because I'm like, dude, I can literally call the police on you. Like,
Don't you have
I
a security
this
guard
power.
right there with you?
A what?
Don't you have a security guard in there with you?
I have the security guard.
Oh, you're the security guard.
Yeah, I'm like, but we're not allowed to do anything. Like, security just calls the police. Like, they can't
So
do
you get to wear the
anything.
uniform and everything?
It's not as exciting as you think. It's not. It's, you literally, like, can't do anything. Like, you
You
can't.
don't even got a gun on your hip or a
No.
taser, nothing?
No.
Oh.
I have pepper spray on my keychain,
That's yours, though.
on my key ring. And if I use it, I'll probably get fired.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it is.
Yeah. I didn't want to give the specific place name, but
I'll bleep it out.
Okay. Doesn't bleep it out. It doesn't matter. I don't know how many people listen to your
Clicks the
podcast.
link to your store.
It's not like thousands, is it?
No, it's
Okay.
like half 100
Okay.
right now at least.
That's not bad then.
Going back to tech, is it just me or has this been like a off year for tech?
Okay, dude, I was thinking about that because Google, like, so when I realized that is when Google canceled its huge keynote in May, and then they were supposed to release like their new budget phone, and they didn't. And I'm like a huge Pixel nerd, like I love Google, but like and now like they still haven't released it.
Yeah.
And so like I'm thinking like what the hell's going on? And then there was Apple that had its WWDC keynote, and it was just like there was no audience. It was just like it looked like a video tutorial or something.
I
Like,
think things
like,
are getting to the point where people are realizing like the upgrade doesn't change much.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I think this year of phones is not going to be like a big change.
Yeah. I was watching a video on the iPhone 12. They're not even going to give you a charger in the box.
Yeah, I saw a video on that. But
Marquez
yeah, like
Brownlee?
I was wondering, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, that's the one I watched.
Yeah, I was like, that's really interesting. People already have iPhone chargers, and if they like, let's say they charge less for the phone, then it's still the same price if you buy the charger separate. And I was like, that would be a good fix.
Yeah.
I was like, you save like.
But knowing Apple, they're going to just want more money, no?
Yeah, I don't know. It really surprised me because Apple has so many lines of revenue now that they have so many that they actually like going from the iPhone 10R to the iPhone 11, or it was like the iPhone. Oh, I don't remember. They actually charged that, so they had their smaller phones, right? They charged $50 less the next year.
Yeah.
And then now they just came up with the iPhone SE, which is like their budget-friendly little iPhone.
Yeah, and it's like, it looks like the iPhone 5.
Yeah, but it's like what, $350? And so it's like now that Apple's like trying to compete in price, they actually like have lowered prices. It's really interesting. It's like I wouldn't leave it up to them not to. I think the biggest thing will be Apple Silicon. Have you heard of that?
No.
So Apple in their Macs, they put Intel processors in their Macs.
Yeah.
They're going to stop working with Intel, and they're going to make their own processors and put them in. It's called Apple Silicon.
Think that's going to shoot up the prices?
No, because Intel is very expensive. Intel chips are very expensive. They actually, and they take a lot of time to upgrade. So like, you know how you have like commercials of like Intel 9th gen processor or whatever. They take a long time to like upgrade, and Apple wants to upgrade like that, like all the time. And so I think it'll actually make it a lot cheaper because once Apple can make their own stuff, they can make it very cheap. They're very good at that.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm wondering, are they going to lower the prices of the Macs? And I think that's when we'll be able to tell, like, if Apple like is willing to share that price drop with their customers.
Yeah.
Or not. You know.
Yeah.
So we're waiting. We're just waiting.
Yeah.
We're waiting to see what Apple does.
Yep.
Because they like just came out with the iPhone SE, which is cheap. But then again, it's a cheap phone. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So you're doing video now, right?
Yes.
So you made the switch from photo to video?
Yes. I'm trying to.
That was one of the reasons we changed it from real life photography to real life media.
Yeah, I like doing video. I want to get into video full time. Video has more dimensions, and you can put so much more to it. I don't know. I like video a lot.
Yeah. forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, did you hear about the new? There's a new. I heard or I read Peter McKinnon and Maddie, however you pronounce that guy's last name, talking about it the other day on Twitter. This new Canon camera that's coming out. Can't remember the name of it.
BR5.
That's the one. The R5. Yeah. Ooh, they were talking about. Oh my gosh. Apparently, it's gonna be capable of some like ridiculous stuff.
Oh yeah, like the whole 8K video.
Yeah, 8K.
I don't know.
How many Ks are there gonna be?
Yeah, I know. Like it's just like I look at people that film like with red cameras. So there's a guy that like Peter McKinnon and Maddie they work with a lot, and he did a tutorial on like a red 8K video with like red 8K raw.
Yeah.
Like best you can get like in the industry. Like that's a cinema grade camera. Like Hollywood uses that.
Yeah.
And like it really just depends on how you're using it, because he was using it like a vlogger, and he graded it like a vlogger, and it looked kind of like crap. Not gonna lie. I don't remember what the YouTube name is. Probably shouldn't say it anyway. But anyway, he was like, I don't know. He was like explaining like why people use a red camera, and I was like, this is like not that good. And he did one with the Arri Alexi. Do you know what that is?
No.
Arri Alexi that's the like main Hollywood like cinema cameras, like digital cinema cameras.
One of the shoulder ones.
Yeah, they're like very expensive.
Yeah.
And very very nice cameras. And I don't know. It's just I feel like it's how you use it. You know.
Yeah.
Like there's like some independent films that like shoot everything on an iPhone, and they like get nominated. So I don't know.
Dude, that's so crazy. Like, I'll shoot stuff on my iPhone versus my camera, and it doesn't look like how people shoot their stuff on their iPhones. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah, I'm sure they put a bunch of attachments on it and stuff, but
yeah. Like the magnetic lenses and stuff.
yeah, I think cameras are getting good enough to where you can like really make something really good.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry too much about like it. Like the amount of people that are going to be affected by the new Canon R5 is like, I don't know. I mean, it will push the industry forward. That's what I like. Is when you make something like ridiculous like that, it pushes the whole industry forward.
Yeah.
Like when Apple made the iPhone, like everyone had to make a touchscreen.
You know what I would like to see from Canon instead of 8K?
What?
About an in-wall charger. Just plug the cord in there and just plug it into the wall.
That's what I'm saying.
Instead of like taking out the battery and putting it in there and only having like 2 of them. And then you have to get the dual charger, and you have to order more batteries for like $30 plus another dual charger. And then you have to keep track, like write numbers on all of them so you don't get confused on which ones are dead, and then bring a dead one to a wedding. When you
I
just
feel that.
plug it into the wall while you're eating lunch.
Yeah, my Sony camera has that, so
Yeah.
can't relate. No offense.
Yeah. Dude, you know who's not doing really well right now?
Who?
Nikon.
Ooh.
They have not done anything.
They have a new camera they're releasing. It's supposed to be like another mirrorless.
But their user interface, like their user ability is just garbage. Like the settings and the like interface is just so hard to use.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Same with Sony. Like my user interface is like ass cheeks. Like Canon, you just like boop 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 boop.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that was nice.
Has all the dials on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know who has a great interface?
Who?
Panasonic.
Do they?
They have a great interface. Blackmagic too. Have you ever used a Blackmagic camera?
I have not.
I used when my church was open. I would like to fiddle with their black.
I used to sell them
Blackmagic.
or rent them out at the camera store when I worked at the camera store.
Oh yeah.
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 They put the most expensive cameras on the top shelf, so you're like trying to get it down.
Yeah, like they do with alcohol.
Yeah.
Like top shelf cameras, top
Yeah.
shelf alcohol. Yeah, it'd be like
Dude,
that sometimes.
the Nikon section at the rental, like you have like Canon and Sony, all right there, right in the front, like all the cameras, all the lenses, all that stuff, and then like over here you have Nikon, like all off to the side, because nobody rents Nikon.
Yeah, Nikon is for old heads, man.
It's for like tourists. Like the old tourists will come in and they'll be like, "Do you have a Nikon?" And you're like, "It's over here," and they're like, "Which one is the best?" You're like,
I don't know what kind of question that means. Like,
dude, my favorite question is when they'd come in and be like, "What is the best camera to use out of all of them?" And you're just like,
I don't know, what's the best car to drive?
"Yeah,
that-
exactly,
What's the best house to live in?
exactly." Like,
Yeah. No. No. That's such a loaded question.
it's just, oh man, how do you even answer that? You're just like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, well, I use Canon. I use a Canon. I did when I used my Canon Rebel. I switched cameras.
Someone asked me that, and I told them it's depending on how you use it and what you're using it for.
Yeah, that's the other question. Are you doing? Well, first thing I ask them, are you doing photo or video?
Mm.
And then they're like, most of the time they'll be like, both. Oh my gosh. Well, that puts me back at square one. Sometimes to mess with them, I'll be like, well, if you're doing video, the best one to use is the Canon Red. It's all the way up there.
Yeah, just point to your most expensive one.
Yeah.
And you're like, huh?
Exactly. Then you pile on the accessories.
It's how many tens of thousands of dollars?
You pile on all the accessories, and you're gonna want a gimbal, and you're gonna want a stabilizer. You're gonna want a backpack, and you're gonna want the hurricane blower. Dude, some people will come in there and they'll spend like $300 on a single SD card.
It'd be like that sometimes.
They're like, "Oh, I left my SD card," and they'll just grab $300 one. I'm like, "Bro."
Yeah, dude. Video people.
You could've
make
bought a
lot of
lens.
money. Yeah, man, they make a lot of money, man.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Dude, the new glass for the Canon RP that I have, the glass that they make for those Rs.
Oh, the lenses.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, they have a 28-70 f2.
Ooh.
And I want that bad boy, but I have a Sony.
I was just going to say for the R you don't have,
Yeah,
you can get a mount.
I'm good. I'll stick with my Sony lenses. Actually, I have Sigma lenses.
Does that change the quality if you get a mount? Like cross-face mount. Like I
I don't
obviously
know.
I
I
from,
think
like,
it depends.
Canon EOS to Canon R, but like
I think it just depends. I don't know. I actually don't know the answer to that.
it's pretty good. Dude, oh my gosh. Okay. Speaking of cameras and camera community and all that stuff, I saw this thing in the news where this wedding like media company, I don't know if they're photography or video.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
The dude hired them to do his wedding, and his fiance died before they could get married, and they wouldn't refund him.
And then they wouldn't refund him, and he was like, they were like, it's in the contract. You signed a legal binding contract? Yeah, no, it was so shitty. And then
they made a website to like talk crap about him and like.
Yeah, they were like, we will never refund
And they
him.
named it his fiance's name.com.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that part.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah, it's so bad, dude. That guy's not getting any business.
Yeah.
At least I hope he doesn't. Oh yeah, I remember they made a Facebook post on the supposed wedding day, and it was like, this would be the day that he would have been married if his fiance didn't die. And I was like, you're fucked up. Like, that is so fucked.
Yeah, and they kept saying like it was like a scheme to get a free
Yeah, and
or
then
to
it
like
turns
just
out,
get out
like-
of the wedding.
And then he like sent the death certificate, and
Yeah.
they were like still held their ground. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, just give him the money.
Yeah. Wild. People are wild.
Dude, people are wild, man.
You don't get a lot.
I
of,
have yet to meet someone in the industry that it acts like that.
That's what
Like
I'm
I've met
saying.
some pretty humble, nice people.
Dude, you don't get a lot of news like that, or hardly any news from the community.
Yeah, I think all of the stuck-up people aren't in the community. They kind of do their own thing
Yeah.
and stick to themselves, which I'm glad. I'm happy for.
Yeah. Do you notice any stigmas in the community? Like, do you notice any like rivalry between photo and video, or any like?
People are pretty cooperative.
I noticed some Sony and Canon, like banter.
Oh yeah, there's like, oh my gosh, it's funny because like people like will always like kind of be stuck up about their particular camera brands.
Yeah.
But I'm like, after using so many of them, I'm like, yeah, they all have their pros and cons, and I'm like, yeah, I think people that just specifically use a specific brand and don't work with as many people and have to use as many cameras, like they're the ones that are like entitled to their camera, and I'm like, dude, it's just a tool. Like,
Yeah.
you can call your loved ones with any phone. Why you care so much about your phone?
It's like saying you want to hammer that nail with the wood hammer, the metal hammer, or the rubber mallet.
Yeah, it's like, come on, just pick something and do what you need to do, like your art, like do that. You know, it doesn't matter the tool you're using. It really doesn't. You know?
Yeah. Now, I could understand if like your great grandfather gave you his Sony.
Yeah. If there's like nostalgia to it, or there's like sentimental value, I can get that.
Or like Sony endorses you. Like you're sponsored by Sony or sponsored by Canon or something.
I know people that are like sponsored by particular camera brands, and I watch them, and I'm like, and they don't like talk trash about other camera brands.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but I'm talking about like they could be like, I use some like. If they're paid to say that.
Oh yeah, well,
Sony
yeah,
is-
they can totally like market a particular camera.
Yeah.
So, like, this is like great. Yeah. But I think that's different than just like trashing somebody else for what they use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember you used to say, probably last year or something, you were saying that you were gonna start a vlog channel. Is that still a thing?
No. I don't like vlogging. I don't like being in front of the camera. I realize that. Like I hate being in front of the camera. I like being behind it. That's why I like filming so much. That's why I like video so much. I like being behind the camera.
I see.
Yeah.
I like both.
I know you like both. I like not being in front of it. Yeah, I remember I was with this production crew, and the three of us met, and we were barely talking, and we talked about camera stuff, and then we stopped talking. We were quiet, and then the guy that was going to show us around the location, he was like, "Hey, how you guys doing?" Da, 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 da. And then we didn't talk, and we like went in the elevator and didn't talk, and we went and we met. It was like another floor, and we met with our producer, who was a huge people person, and he was like talking everyone up, and he was shaking hands, and he was fucking talking and talking, and like we went back in the elevator, and he was talking and talking, and then the guy that was showing us around and my producer, they walked off, and they were talking and talking, and we looked at each other, and we're like, wow, that guy's a people person. And we were like, whoo. It was great.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not a talkative bunch of. We were not a talkative people. We like to be behind the camera. We like to figure that shit out.
I like to think I'm pretty adaptable. Like I could do whatever.
Yeah.
Like I like doing like when we do night photography,
Mm-hmm.
we hardly talk. Like we just walk around together
Yeah.
and do nothing.
Yeah.
Just shoot whatever we want to shoot.
Yeah, that's fun, man.
Yeah. Till all hours of the night.
That's a good time.
Putting ourselves in imminent danger.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah. You see some crazy people. Remember that homeless man we saw with the shirt?
With the shirt, yeah, I got a picture of him.
Yeah.
I just sent it to you. We should show the audience.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. Lots of fun times at night. Oh man, night photography. I even like when you talk during night photography, like sometimes we'll have like deep conversations.
Yeah, it really makes you think. It really does. Sorry, I keep yawning.
Yeah. It's a good. Ooh, that's I think that might be one of my favorite types of photography. Like just street photography in general is super fun. Like I like not having like a goal. Like just going down there with my camera and shooting whatever I'm gonna shoot.
Yeah, it's like instead of like
Like at weddings, you
feel
have
like
like bullet points.
you have like a script. You're okay. I like to think of it as like a gig is like you have a program, like you're a programmer,
Yeah.
and you write a script, and then when you go and actually shoot, you're like execute the script, right?
Yeah.
But when you're like doing street photography, you can't. You have to like make it up on the spot. It's like improvisation. Like you have to like oh, there's a photo opportunity. Hurry, click it, click the button.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like you don't have time to think like I have to plan this out. You don't have time to plan it out. You just got to do it.
Yeah.
You know, it cuts that script out. You just have to run a program.
Yeah.
You know.
I do know. Oh, do you remember when we had a podcast before that we did like 3 episodes too, and it was absolute garbage?
Yeah, I do remember that.
That was a time.
I remember the last one being with Milena. Oh man, what happened to her? Do you ever have friends where you're like, oh, what happened to them?
I do. Yeah.
I'm worried.
Yes, I do. You remember when we were doing the podcast? Do you remember when we were when we were gonna set up for the podcast and we carried all the equipment from my house to your house and we walked it across like a main road?
we had to get a table and we walked it across.
We stopped at Sonic and set it up in the stall.
Oh yeah. We had a couple of slushies.
Yep.
Those are good times.
Yeah, that was a good time. It was too big to put on the patio, so we just set it up in the stall.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I remember that.
Push the button.
Yep.
That was a good time.
It was a good time, man.
I saw the video from that.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh man, those podcasts were not it.
Those weren't the move.
It was not it, Chief.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And we had like 0 audience participation.
Yeah.
So that was pretty. And oh my gosh, the topics we would talk about were so stupid. Like they had no relevance to the person.
And boring.
They had no relevance to the person that was on the podcast.
Yeah, I agree. I don't want to tell you that because I felt bad.
The only one that had okay relevance was the one with my brother.
Because y'all talked about music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually recently had my brother on this podcast too.
How
Last
was that?
episode. See his signature's right there.
How was it?
Over, down. Yeah. It was good. It was pretty good. Better than the last one, I'll tell you that much.
Nice.
When I had Big Texas on, you know Big Texas.
I know Big
We were
Texas.
talking about having Dom on.
Dude, having Dom on would be the greatest, man.
Yeah, Dom would be. He had some stories. That man.
Dude, that man had some stories and they were hilarious.
Come on with his giant man bun.
Yeah, looking like Maui from
Yeah.
Moana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about his psychodia.
Oh yeah.
Dude, you remember that night? We used to spend nights with that dude at the duck pond till like 3 in the morning. It was not healthy.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was fun though. It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. He'd smoke a blunt.
Yep. Under the awning right there.
Yep.
Yep. Remember that time we found that giant wagon wheel and rolled it down the hill?
Rolled it down the hill. I wonder where it went.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Still don't know what happened to it.
I have no idea. It just appeared and disappeared.
Yeah. Just like that. It was gone
Yep.
as soon as it had appeared.
If you take anything from that podcast, from this podcast, It should be nothing is permanent. Just as quick as something can appear, it can disappear.
Honestly, just like that wagon wheel at the duck pond, man.
Exactly.
That was fun.
That was fun.
Wheeling that big hoe around.
Yep. Remember when I rode it down the hill?
Oh, yeah.
Remember when we started the fire at the duck pond too, in the barbecue
Yeah,
pit?
and then I peed on it to put it
Yeah.
out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good time. Remember when we had the vlog idea to ride a raft across the pond?
Yeah.
Oh man, I still want to do that.
Let's do it.
I gotta buy an inflatable.
You have to buy a raft.
Yeah, I gotta buy an inflatable raft with some oars and row your boat
Gently down
across
the
the
stream.
duck pond.
Duck pond.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So. So you used to have like super severe anxiety, correct?
Oh, I still have severe anxiety.
But it used to
All
be,
the time.
It used to be like worse. Like you didn't have control over it.
I don't ever have control over it.
You know what I mean? Like it used to be bad, like crippling.
It is crippling now.
Oh my god. You know what I mean? Like you've gotten better with it.
Oh no, fam, I'm struggling. Like I did get better, and now I've been worse because of
You're
the quarantine.
still better than you were. Like
Am I?
yes.
Yeah,
Function better
I
in
am.
situation.
Yeah, I am. I'm more responsible.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Okay, yeah. What do you mean by better? There's not a wrong answer to that.
Like you
You
used
mean more responsible? Because I am.
that, and you're more like open about it. Like you used to like just cut
Oh yeah,
everybody
I used
off
to
and like
isolate myself.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that
Yeah.
that video helped you with that or anything, or do you think?
I really don't know what it is. I think just opening up about it.
Just maturity.
And it was like what I talked about in the beginning of the podcast, like how you have to realize like who's good for you and who's not. And I cut out the people that were bad for me, and that really helped because I can finally be open with literally everyone
Yeah.
about it because I created those friends. Like those friends understand like what my anxiety is and that it's something to take seriously.
Yeah.
It's been a hard journey, and I still struggle with it a lot,
Yeah.
like all the time. But sorry, I keep yawning. Ah. But yeah, did you want to know anything more about it?
Oh, what was my next question? I remember you used to take like all kinds of medications and stuff, like trying to like subdue it. Did you have a realization about medications? Like,
Well, it didn't work, and it made me disassociate with people, because what it did is it basically numbed everything, and so it made me disassociate with people, maybe not care about people anymore. So like it's like I wasn't anxious or sad anymore, but I also was never happy.
yeah,
It made me a zombie. And so like it's like it sucks because you don't care about your relationships anymore. And it's like I rather care about my relationships so much that I ruin them than not care about them. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Because with my severe anxiety, it's like I care about them so much I ruin them. I'd rather have feelings than not, even if I can't control them. So, and then I was watching this interview, this psychiatrist, like really big boy Harvard psychiatrist, was interviewing a guy that he's also a doctor that has studied psychedelics, and he was talking about how when you self-medicate, and he was talking about self-medication. When you self-medicate, you do it to numb, not to face your problems. You do it to numb your problems. And so you never get rid of your problems. And so I was like, man, that can be true for actual like prescribed medication.
yeah,
Like, what's the difference between self-medicated and like going to a doctor and him prescribing you shit? Because like you tell them like I have anxiety, I'm depressed, and then they prescribe you it. It's like, what's the difference between like going to like the fucking liquor store? Like, it's more formal. I don't
Yeah.
know, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's like,
It's less frowned upon.
yeah, it's less frowned upon. So like honestly, I was using it's like that medication was numbing my problems. It wasn't and it would make me completely unable to face them. And so like people will do like so many things to numb their problems. Like they'll drink or smoke cigarettes, like nicotine or weed, like, and then people also take like anti-anxiety and antidepressants, and they numb your feelings so you don't feel, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't live a life like that. And so I actually asked to get on different ones, and my psychiatrist just refused. And I was just like, I'm tired of this. I'm not going to keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result. That's stupid.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm like actively looking for medications that actually do work. I'm not open to it, you know.
Yeah.
Like if I find a medication that actually helps me, like, but I want to face my problems and like overcome them. I don't want to numb them.
Yeah. Have you ever had any like self-medication that you took that did help in the way of not numbing it?
Well, there actually was like Xanax, which like helped me like actually go out and do stuff because it would prevent me from getting panic attacks. And it was like so strong that I wouldn't take it like all the time. I would just take it only like if I was going out and gonna do something. So I feel like if I didn't have it, I wouldn't have taken it. And then I also like there was one time I tripped on psilocybin mushrooms, and
Oh yeah.
and that was like huge for me. Yeah, that will make you face like everything.
I remember there was like a 6 month, not 6, maybe like 2-3 month period where we went without hanging out or like seeing each other, like we were doing our own life things.
Mm-hmm.
And in that period was when you did the shrooms, and like after coming back and seeing you for the first time and like just being together for the first time, like you were completely different.
Yeah, I have this like I hate the stigma behind it. There's like years and years and years of stigma where like it's like this like hippy dippy shit that will like make you crazy, like psychedelics. And then okay, literally the other day I was having a conversation with my coworker, and she was talking about how she hosted this party, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And they brought drinks, and she was complaining about the fact that they didn't eat any of her food. All they did was drink, and they didn't like play any of her games. They didn't like really socialize with her. They just like drank. And I'm like, and I talked to her like, actually, she was like, do you go to parties? Like, do you understand? Like, I hope you're not this kind of person. And I was like, no, I actually host a lot of parties, and I really like hosting them. And I was like, I really like the fact that I can host them and there not be any drugs, or maybe there be alcohol, or maybe there be other types of drugs. And when I said other kinds of drugs, she shut down the conversation. And I'm like, you literally just explained how like you had this party and all they cared about was the alcohol. And yet
Yeah.
I have parties where like when you use other drugs, like it literally like, can change your life.
Yeah.
Like,
But people assume the worst when you say other drugs.
yeah, it's the stigma, man. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. People that are like, I don't do drugs. You ever hear the saying, I don't do drugs? Yeah, like, you don't drink coffee? Like, you don't have any caffeine? You don't do any drugs. Like, I don't know what that means. You do drugs. You take a fucking Tylenol if you get a headache. Don't tell me you don't. Like, you do drugs. When you go to the hospital, you know what they inject you with? Like, you know what makes you... Dude, they literally give you heroin. Like, they will give you heroin to make you feel better. It's medical grade. It's clean. Heroin.
Yeah.
Like, that's... What do you think heroin comes from? Like... I don't know what you're talking about. Like, but we don't get addicted to heroin after we go to the hospital. We don't like want to shoot up, do we?
No.
There's a stigma. Like seriously, like you realize like the people that are addicted to heroin like have had awful lives, like fucking awful lives, and they've done like 30 other drugs that they've tried to get high off of.
Can you name 30 drugs?
No. Like I saw this one video from a recovering like meth addict, and it was like top 5 most dangerous drugs I've used. I was like, oh god. But it's like, come on, like.
I saw a video from Steve-O where it was like the top 5 drugs or something that Steve-O's used.
Yeah. Like, top 5 most dangerous drugs I've used. I'm like, Jesus.
And some of them like are ridiculous. Like I didn't even know that was a drug.
Yeah. Yeah.
Steve-O was talking about ketamine.
Ketamine.
Ooh.
Ooh. Yeah.
Big Texas was talking about a drug called adrenochrome. You know what adrenochrome is?
What is that?
He was saying it's a drug siphoned from fear of kids, like fear that kids have, a chemical in their brain, because kids scare easier than adults, and so when they scare, they siphon it from their brain because it's more concentrated, and like a lot of the big shots, politicians, billionaires, people, stuff like that, like business owners take it, and that's why they have a power complex, because it gives them a power complex. And it's
crazy.
Super addictive. He said he thinks that's where those. He was talking about like when kids go missing, like they're talking about the kids went missing from the cages in ICE custody.
Mm-hmm.
He said like that's where some of them go so they can harvest it.
That's some conspiracy shit.
You know what I'm saying?
I want to talk to him about that more. Be like, where are you getting your sources?
Yeah. It's pretty hard drug there.
Yeah, man. Sounds like it. Like to know more about adrenochrome?
Adrenochrome.
Adrenochrome. All right. Do you want to talk about anything else? My ass is getting numb. These chairs, man.
You can bring your own cushion.
I can, but I don't.
This podcast is BYOC. Bring your own cushion.
That's funny.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you sound like a dog.
Well, you sound like a stupid little squirrel, so you want to go there? You want to keep making animal noises? You're going to ask me another question. My ass doesn't get more numb. Come on!
Just spank yourself really hard.
I'm good.
Oh. Ow. Okay. Okay. So I remember, like, we used to be involved with this, like, specific group of people that wanted us to do their media. And
Yeah.
it ended up, like, just being, like, a dead end.
Yeah, it was just another learning experience.
What advice do you have for people that, like, are stuck in a situation like that? Like,
Well,
how do you get out of that without, like...
I just feel like so what we're talking about is like we basically wanted to make a bunch of musicians famous, and like
It was a music group.
Everyone was just kind of doing their own thing. People were in school or had their jobs, and it just fell through. And it's just a learning experience. Like, there was so much I learned.
Yeah.
From like.
How do you know the point between, like, from a learning experience to where it's like you're just getting dragged and it's just eating up your time? I think a lot of people struggle with that boundary. Like, okay, I've learned from this, but like it's time to move.
I feel
to
like
something new.
when you can tangibly like explain things that you've learned. Like if you're genuinely trying to learn something, and you like realize like you just have to think about it. Like, have I learned anything from, like, let's say you go out and do something with this group or whatever you're doing. Like, have you learned something? And if you haven't, like, move on. It's not for you. You know?
Yeah.
It's not the time for it. Like, we were trying to start, like, I don't know what to call it. Like, we were trying to start a group, and we were trying to make money off of it. And it's just, like, that's not how this works. Like, that's not how any of it works. Like, we just don't have the time, and we don't have the knowledge, and we don't have the money, and we're basically trying to start a business, and we didn't have the knowledge, money, or resources for it. We didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
You know? But it gave me a lot of perspective, and I met a lot of people, and we tried like really hard, even though we got nowhere with it.
Yeah.
Like we kept going, and learning, and by the time it ended, we weren't learning anything, and we all realized it. Nobody wanted to be a part of it, and we weren't upset that it didn't take off or whatever, because we realized like how much we didn't know about what we were trying to do,
Yeah.
like what we were trying to start.
And there's always, I mean, if time permits or the door opens up or whatever, like you can try again later.
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever do that, but
Well, not necessarily you, but just in general. Like,
I mean, like in general,
like
yeah.
you just revisit the project.
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever revisit that. It had to do with like
Like we would do with Rivalry. Like we'd be considered.
yeah, that's something I very much like to revisit in the future.
But we
But I
know
don't want to
more now.
expect a bunch from it. you
Yeah.
know?
But we do know more now, and we do have more like of our own independence. Like we're not on other people's time and
it's
stuff.
like a lot of people say this is like I was doing it for fun and then it turned into something else. Like do it like if you're trying to do something seriously, like you have to understand like everyone around you has to take it seriously.
Yeah.
And it's like with this group, there were some people that were taking it seriously and some people that just wanted to have fun.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just like you have to communicate. Like I take this seriously. You have to like take this seriously with me.
Yeah. I think that's one of the reasons that real life media works. It's because we know like regardless of what other tangents we go on or other interests, like our end all is camera work. Like that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
Like if we can do other things and we can have our own other interests and stuff like that, but like we know like regardless of of all this, like whatever, like the end all is camera work. Like
Yeah.
that's what we want to do, and
Yeah.
so I think that's part of the reason that it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think also like we did the same thing kind of that we're doing with real life that we did with Rivalry. Like we built a crew. You do the video, I do the photo, or vice versa. Like we both do both, but like you had the video, I had the photo, and Alexis heads like the people. Like,
Yeah.
Like she can, like like the contracts, like talking to the people, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because we knew that was hard for us. Like we knew that was one of the things that was restricting us. Was that we're a bunch of nerds. Like we didn't have the skill to talk to people. And so, but Alexis does, and she likes it, and so that's why that works. And we expand too. Like we've experimented with other stuff. Like we've had other people come on, and we've experimented with having different crew members. But so far, this is what's working. I think that's just. I think that's one of the biggest things when you're trying to create like a company or a crew or something with multiple people is that like to be on the same page.
Yeah, I mean that's what we were learning is we weren't on the same page, and like you like the reason why like we're still in on this is like because we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta have people that like understand what they're doing and why they're doing it.
Yeah.
That was like a big lesson I've had to learn about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
That seems like it's running for longer than 30 minutes.
It says like 22 something or something like that. I don't know.
That's pretty good.
Oh.
Dusty.
We'll be talking for like an hour and a half.
Have we really?
You wanna bring you wanna bring a closing thoughts?
Yeah. Where's my phone? Okay. All right. To end the podcast, I'm going to do the quote of the day. You know what the quote of the day is? Basically,
What?
I go on Twitter. Thank you, Cannon. That's what it is. That's the quote of the day. The quote of the day, I go on... Cannon. I go on Twitter and I look up... So the quote of the day, I go up on Twitter and I look up quote of the day and we read whatever the quote of the day is.
Mhm.
And then we can share our thoughts or whatever.
Okay.
If I can find this here. Here we go. Okay, quote of the day right here. Make your heart a lake with a calm, still surface and great depths of kindness.
That's a pretty good quote.
Pretty good. Make your heart like a lake. Huh. I like...
You like what?
I like the idea of depth. I like that.
Yeah, you can make a lot of good water analogies.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're like 50% water.
Yeah.
Almost like the water's us.
Yeah. What if I was like, the quote of the day is live, laugh, love?
Oh, wow. Wow. That's very, very insightful quote.
I'm going to get one of the live, laugh, love desk stands, put it right here.
Put it right there. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So while I do the outro for the podcast, you can sign the poster.
Okay.
I have all the markers here. I don't know, whatever color you want. Everybody signs on that side because that's where they sit. But this whole side is open.
I want to make this like 3D shit.
Okay.
I can't do it. Never mind.
Oh, yeah. You're left-handed. A
I
lot of
am
people don't know
left-handed.
that. He's left-handed.
Oh, I got to go on the other side. I'll go on the other side.
Okay. All right. So that has been the fourth episode of the Real Life Podcast. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget, we do have mugs and some T-shirts coming for Real Life Media in the making. So very soon I'll be posting about that, and you guys will be able to get your own if that's what you would like to do. And yeah, thank you for watching this podcast. We definitely had a lot of insightful talking with Antonio here. And we'll see you next week for podcast number 5.
All right.
All right.